I don't know why Instagram is doing this thing. What's going on? I'm even sending an invite and it's not going through. Adenike, please, can you send a request to join? Because I don't know. Okay.
I don't know
Oh,
what's going
I don't
on.
know what's going on.
And it's when the conversation is getting
Like,
interesting.
it's annoying. The network is messing
Uh,
up. I'm so sorry, everyone. I don't know what's going on. The network is messing up, and it shouldn't be on a day like today at all.
oh,
I'm so sorry,
okay,
everyone. Thank you so much for joining back in. Thank you.
okay. So, and I don't know where at what point everybody heard, but
Yeah.
I'm just going to continue from. Welcome, thank you, welcome back. I'm just going
Thank
to
you so
continue
much for
from.
joining again. I don't know what's happening. I think we
Okay,
should just
thank you,
continue.
thank you, thank
Thank
you, thank
you.
you
Thank you guys for
for being here.
understanding. Thank you.
So I'm just going to continue from where I said I again there is an issue with diabetes patients, inpatients that are not getting their insulin on time because it can be delayed, it can be too early, there can be overdosage, there can be wrong medication, and they were just saying to themselves in a meeting. By the way, it's a governance meeting, which they started to add me to all of those governance meetings. By the way, I was always the least person in those meetings, and I was always the only black person in those meetings.
I was going to mention that. I think we'll come back to that about governance and corporate aspects of NHS. We'll come back to it.
Right. So they started talking about it, and I was like, okay, I could do something about it. And when the meeting finished, I just went. The person is not even my boss, not my direct boss. And I said to the person that I would like to do a quality improvement project to facilitate self-administration of insulin within our trust. So I started to write proposal. So he asked me to write proposal. I got all the templates to do, the PDSA, change management, whatever thing, all the things that I could lay my hand on. I wrote the proposal and sent it, and he was quite impressed and said, "This is really nice." So he told me, "Well, you not do it alone. I would let someone just oversee what you are doing," and paired me with another head of department that was not even my boss. So I started but I was the one doing everything. I would just run it by this person, and they would just say, "This is so good. Oh, why did you get that?" But I was just happy doing all of those things. So they knew what I was interested in. By the way, I had a choice. I was in control of my workload, whether I go to work 9 or 10 or 11. I could even work from home. Nobody would know what exactly I'm doing. At the end of the day, I'm just doing my own thing. I was just doing my own thing, but
And
I
this is
said
all
it to
within
myself.
NHS.
Yes, yes. So I was just like, yeah, I could be lazy and sleep and press my phone all through the day and pack my bag and go home because that was it. But I decided that if they were not giving me job to do, I'll be getting job for myself to do. Because sometimes when you think, I'm now resting, you just let your guard down, you're not doing anything, and it was a specialist patient
Patient safety
safety nurse.
specialist.
Yes. So I started to do all of those things. So they saw my interest. They saw the things that I love. So whenever they see any opportunity that could enhance or develop my capacity in that space, they would they would tell me about it and I would just go for it. I've got funding. Even my master's is in quality improvement and patient safety, and it's being funded. So by different 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 I got funding from different place, and I got another funding from my trust to continue when that one ran out. So everything has just been funded. I'm not going to take away the God factor from all of these things. I would say it is my positioning. I acknowledge God in everything because I strongly believe that I am one favored person. But practically speaking, I still
You
engage
put in the
myself. I
effort.
put in the effort. Yes. So, and after that, I did my research. Of course, I know what is obtainable within the NHS. What are the things obtainable within the NHS? So, if you're going to position yourself, you need to know what is exactly available within where you are, or even outside of where you are. So you know where to position and how to position. So know what is obtainable, know what is available, and know the people that you can speak to. It's not about the name of the church. I just have a relationship with God that is so special. So, well, my church is within Christian Church of God, Living Praise Sunderland to be precise. So, when I know what I wanted to do, and I look at the portfolio, see, my staff from my church have just joined. Since I've just talked about my church, so they were asking about my church because we serve a very big God, living God in my church. So we are the living praisers, Redeemed Christian Church of God, living praise to be precise in Sunderland. So as I was saying, I did the research on what is obtainable or what is available, and I looked for the person that is in that role, and I started to look at their. I went to LinkedIn. I went to go and check what do they have exactly. What the things that. If I tell you my. If I tell you my trust now, say you want to come. You like London now. Have a leave us. It's not in London. So on the spot of positioning, I agree with you. It's divine positioning for Misha. So so um I looked at their bio on LinkedIn. I used to stop people going. So I looked at their bio on LinkedIn, and I saw that these are the things that they have done. And whenever I'm meeting them, I'm asking them questions. So they know that I'm interested. So if you don't show that you are interested, people are not going to know how they can actually support you, the things that they can send your way, and give you wise counsel that will really help you. I don't know if I'm already talking
No,
outside of
it
what
makes it
you
makes a
asked
lot of
me.
sense. So the few points is first you have to position yourself, like you have to network. You can't close your mouth and expect things to happen magically. You have to talk about your interest to people that you know that okay, they are in that space and they can help you. Even if they don't know exactly, they can know somebody that knows and be able to connect you.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
very important. Then when you eventually get that opportunity, then you now have to put yourself out there that okay, I'm not just here to sit down and relax and be lazy, but I want to do the job. And that will give you more opportunities to actually venture into because being in the governance team within NHS is a big deal. Honestly, and I know it's a big deal. So you have to really show yourself that you are interested and you are not lazy and you are ready to, put in your efforts and do more, which is very,
mhm,
very important. Now, the next question, like that I've drafted out that I was going to ask you is, I didn't get honestly, this is not, I mean no disrespect, but this is one thing that is not so easy to come by is the third point that strategizing yourself, switching your career without unnecessary academic stress. And I know you get what I mean by saying that. Because you achieve all of this thing as a registered nurse. It was after that you started doing your upgrade and all of that. So tell us about it. While as a registered nurse with your RN, you're able to climb all this ladder and get it all done. Tell us about it because sometimes people have this setback that I don't have degree, will they consider me? I don't have masters, will they consider me? So tell us practically now from your own experience how
okay.
people can achieve this feat.
All right. So the first one that I wrote down is that you can be a link nurse. So being a link nurse, for example, if that this is why I said you need to really know what
You
progression means
want.
for you. So if you know, for example, you're on the bedside, you want to be a infection prevention and control nurse, or you want to be a quality improvement nurse, or you want to be a patient safety specialist, you can be a link nurse to, let's say they are looking for first champion and they're saying we need someone to be a first champion on this ward. Say I'll do it, volunteer to be a link nurse. So you my by the way, one of my friends that told me about being a link nurse is also on this call. She's my mentor. She's my oga. If I mention, I don't know if he's still here, but I saw that she joined. And she told me, "Oh, you can be a link nurse." And so, if you are a link nurse, what that means is that you will be the point of contact between your ward and those people on the other side that are already doing what you want to do. So let's say infection control, and they have infection control team. So when they have any information, you'll be the first person they will relate all the information to, and you will be teaching your colleagues on the ward, or you'll be doing the audits, with them. You'll be, participating in those specialty thing, even though you are still within your band five role, which is very important. And all the things you are doing, you are writing it down in your CV that you are a link nurse to this particular part, because no experience is a waste, by the way. Secondly, volunteer. I don't know why people always just want to do their work and just go home. Like, I like to go home, and I'm not saying,
Thank you.
yeah, okay. I'm not saying that you should stay after 8:30. I don't know how your long day is, but long day when you are closing in my trust, your 8:30. I'm not saying stay back till 9. I'm saying even within your normal work hour, if they say, oh, we want to move someone, this is what I mean. They say we are moving someone from our, I don't know whether they move people within your body. The two places I've worked, they move people around, they move staff nurses around to different places even when they are short staff. So when they're looking for someone to, I don't know who is not Isaac.
That's my maiden name, so just continue.
Okay. Oh, so if they say we want to move people around, volunteer. I say, oh, they are looking. Everyone does not want to go. You go because it's an unfamiliar place. I know it's not easy to go to unfamiliar places, but again, it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is eventually to take the leap, you better start taking the leap by volunteering now. So that's the second thing, because I remember, and I will share with you practically. I was working as a patient safety specialist nurse, and towards the end of it, we had a high influx of um, Nigerian nurses, and my boss approached me and said, so they are going to need a hand at the OSCE preparation. I've never taught, I've never taught, OSCE before. I don't even know what the curriculum is, because as of that time, I think I was post like 3 years after my own OSCE. Things have changed like rapidly.
Yeah.
But they told me, you are going to be going there to teach OSCE. And I was like, oh, God, okay. Anyway, I'm happy to go because obviously they are Nigerians. If they see a familiar face, they'll probably be more, settled, and it would help them in their prep. So I went there and I did that for 3 months. I was doing my insulin project, and I was going to do
Teaching.
the OSCE training, and I was just doing it. So when my secondment finished, and I saw that clinical nurse educator, because it will keep me. It's an interim, by the way. My goal is not to become a clinical educator. It's an interim thing for me that will serve me because of all the things that I wanted to do this year. I knew this would give me that chance to do it. So when I saw the job, I don't have a PGCE like education thing, but I wrote it on my CV that I have taught OSCE. So they saw that, and my current manager was quite impressed that you have taught OSCE. So I was able to get the job because I have taught OSCE, even though I'm not a nurse educator by training. We are talking about without going through the academic problem. So volunteering would give you the same experience, and if you know how to structure your supporting statement to really express yourself and the experiences that you've got, it would work for you. So I mentioned that you need to volunteer. Be the first person to say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go." Number three, be up to date in your ESR learning. They look at all of those things. How are you doing in your ESR? Be up to date. I know it takes time. I know some people don't really put much attention. They just go through it, blah, 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 and they take that one. But be up to date. Number four, attend relevant conferences. So for me, I love, to network. So even if it is for the networking reason, I'll go. But there are even ones that they will give you CPD hours, and they will
Yeah.
say that you've been trained in this kind of thing. And for example, if you already know what you want to do, you can tailor the attendance, the kind of conference you can be tailoring, towards that side that you really want to go, and you'll be able to say, "Oh, I've gone through this particular conference where I obtained this knowledge." It can even be a free conference, but you've obtained. For example, I attended Nigeria Nurses Charitable Association.
Association of UK.
I attended that conference where they talked about. I already know about all the things they talk about, but imagine a person that came without knowing what quality improvement means. The person will definitely go home with the definition of or the core principle of quality improvement, and this person will be able to put it in their CV that they've had that exposure and talk about that part of it because they attended that conference.
Yeah.
So attending relevant conferences would help. You don't have to always go to school for that one. Number five,
Fine.
read the bulletin, relevant bulletins, even within your organization. So I will share with you when I was on the ward. Of course, I love quality improvement. I always like to give my patients the best care. So this is what I love to do. So I always look for how things can be saved. I don't do what is unsafe for my sisters and brothers. Everything has to be saved because me self, now is the thing that is keeping everybody here.
Yeah.
If you don't have your pin, probably be home, right?
Yeah.
So to keep my pin, to keep with the patient, and because I genuinely just care about people. So I read bulletin about patient safety because I love it. I love it. So I read their bulletin. So even when I saw the job advert and they said you are going to present a tabletop presentation about something that they didn't tell us about, you just prepare something that is tabletop something something. They didn't say it's going to be patient safety related. They didn't give us anything. We've read a lot of things about the job role, but do you know, on the Monday before my interview, I was not at work, I was off duty, but I went to our trust library and I was using because you can only access your trust intranet at work, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I went to work and I opened the patient safety bulletin and I was just reading, and there was one particular incident that struck me, and I was like, how can this thing be? Like, and I started to look at how can we mitigate this kind of situation that it will not happen. It was a never event where a nurse administered oral morphine into the vein. And I was like, how did this happen? And
Oh, wow.
in my
Oramon.
mind, I was curious to how can this thing happen? How can we prevent it from happening? And I started to come up with things in my head. Remember, this is me just reading the
Yeah.
bulletin. So when I got to the interview, that was the exact thing they gave me to talk about, to solve. They said, how would you investigate this and what would be the action plan? And I started to write like, because of the things that it was something I had seen, a day before. I started to write, and then they called me into the main interview and they said, what you wrote on your paper is what you're going to present to us. And I was just there firing, 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 firing. They saw my energy. In fact, do you know the role was supposed to be one person that time, but they ended up taking two of us because the other person had already gotten the job offer yesterday. Obviously, they still had other candidates today, so we did. And it was like 6 months down the line that one of my bosses told me that they made room for me because of my energy, my the way I answered the question. Well, I believe it's favor, you know. So again, I believe it's favor, but I'm just saying practically this is what I have also done. So even though I was not a specialist trained, I had seen incidences, and my curiosity, I had solved those things
Curiosity, yeah,
in
that's
my
very good.
head. I had solved those things in my head. So if you have interest in a nutshell, if you have interest in something, there's always a portion of that thing within your trust that you can read about so that you keep yourself abreast of what is happening. You know what is happening within that scope, so you can start to rehearse, practice, and look at how you can solve issues in those aspects. And so even when you don't have the academic qualification, they can see that if they give you an opportunity, you would grow into that person and into that role. So that is number 5. Number 6, share experience on how you solved similar things that relate to the role. As I said, I've always been a safety person. I hate patient falling on the ward. I hate it with passion. And and one of the core things.
I don't even like to feel that dating, so I would rather avoid it.
No, I don't like the paperwork, and for
Paperwork.
me, I don't like even beyond the paperwork. Imagine somebody coming into the hospital with something else, and they then become disabled because the cost of fall
Yeah,
is
brain
huge on
injury
both the
and all those things.
patient. Yeah, if the patient just goes into coma just because they have a fall because of head injury, how would, if it's, I mean, I usually put myself, my parents and siblings in other people's shoe, so I don't want them to fall. And sometimes the people that fall the most are the frail one. They are elderly people. They probably have dementia or other comorbidities. So I've always been so particular in that area. So when they are doing any fall related program, I'm volunteering. Remember, volunteering, being a clinical, all of those things and things and things. So when I was applying for my role, I shared how I have mitigated fall on my ward and reduced the number of fall. Remember, these are the things that I am doing in my normal day-to-day activity as a staff nurse on the ward. So know how the things that you are doing on your ward that makes a difference. Know how to structure them in your supporting statement. Again, I'm not saying this is all that got me here, but because somebody will be here and they'll be saying, "Hey, your case is different." Now I've heard this several times. People used to tell me, but my case is different, but these are the things that I have done. So know how to structure those experiences that you've had, the things that you've contributed significantly within your current role, even as a band 5. Because I got to that interview and I said, well, I'm just a band 5, but the things that they said, you are not just a band 5. That day it changed my perspective. Even at that interview, the head of nursing was telling me, you are not just a band 5. Your experiences, the contributions that you made as a band 5 is what is keeping our patients safe. So how you've done those things matter. So you can share those experiences. And that's number 6. Number 7, again, participate or suggest change or QI projects relevant to your area of interest. You know how I shared about my fall, when not liking fall, and I suggested to my manager, can we get this, we have what we call dementia and delirium outreach, when they come to the ward and help us to feed the patient so that the nurses can really do some other things, because we were short staffed, especially during the COVID time. And I suggested that to my manager, can we get them to come when we are doing medication? Just because I have seen that it was during medication time that, you are managing 2 days. You cannot be in 2 days at once.
Yeah.
You are here and you need someone to be there. Maybe you have just one HCA that is also doing food rounds and all the things. So I said, can we get these volunteers to come? As small as that change is, it improved the rate of fall. And I was able to say that I was the one that championed this change. This is a Q high project. No project is too small. So it can even be that I championed fluid balance chart. I championed, AK high
So
prevention.
whatever contribution you're making at your workplace is not intangible.
Is not intangible as long as it contributes to quality of the care that you're giving to patient and improves the patient safety. Is no matter, and this is one question that you will get as a band six if you are moving from 5 to 6, is that what change have you done before, and how has that improved the care of the quality of care that patients got. They would ask you that question. I'm telling you because I've attended more than one band six um,
Interview.
interview. All this was constant. They want to see how you are making changes, how you are suggesting, how you are participating. So make sure that you suggest, make sure that you don't stay back. Let me see, because Nigerians are always laid back, I just do my work, I just go home. We're just always doing our work and going home. But you need to be pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. I know the time is running now. Number 8, get mentored. I'm not going to say that this didn't help me. Get mentored, even if it is another challenge is everybody is now a UKRN. The person that you used to look up to when you were in Nigeria, because you got to UK now, you think everybody is in the UK and everybody has a YouTube channel. You just move on and you are just there, you know. Me, I can call anybody auntie. I can call anybody mommy. If I meet you now, ma, ọmọ yín, èmi ọmọ yín, we are here, a mentor. Be humble enough to be mentored, to be coached. So I am always asking people for help. I was coached, I was mentored, whether officially or even informally. My friends mentored me because she's been here, like 2 years ahead of me. She's gone through where I wanted to go to. So when she and I took it seriously. I don't know if she's still on this call. She can testify. I don't sort out. We literally wrote things down. She told me who I need to reach out to, things I need to do on LinkedIn, things, all this. I did it. I did, so don't take your network casually, right? And there are other mentoring platforms that within the NHS that you can also use. I can't remember now the
I
full
think,
name. I
yeah.
think
Um,
I think NHS
I can't remember the name
different
fully.
regions different regions have
Yeah, you
different
can
things.
get
And
coaches and mentors
yes,
on that
I was
website.
coached on that platform for 1 good year. If I was going for if I was going for interview, I would tell her, and she will print out the job. She will print out the job thing and coach me on the interview. Do a proper interview for me, so we would know how ready I am or I was at that time for whatever role I'm going for, and it really helps. So be mentored, be coached. Another thing that I would say is that you can shadow people. That's I don't
Cut
care.
out.
You see, I'm acknowledging my Oga. Emajeka proud. Yeah, your free mercy is only for us, the inner circle that it was free for.
I
I
got my
want
own anyways. I had my own session.
so go free monthly. So another thing that I wrote here is that shadow people. When I saw that this is what I like to do, even though I was in there, because they don't do the two together in my organizations. QI and patient safety, they are different departments. And I know that I love the two because there's no way you will really want to facilitate patient safety without improving quality of care that patient gets. So I know how they are intertwined. Even though I was in patient safety team, I went to shadow the person in QI, the head of that department. I went to shadow him, and that was it for me. We built, and it was the one that signposted everything that I needed to do. And even when I finished, he would still tell me, "This, I want you to do this one. Write a paper, write this one, and present it at the conference, and do this and do that." And, literally giving you all the push that you need. So go and shadow people because you'll be able to ask them questions and also show them what you are interested in, and they will know how to signpost you if there is need for that. And another thing, be happy to start small. People want to just be a band 8 in how many? You you are not in Nigeria, oh, and you're not you don't have the white privilege, so you have to be happy to start small. And starting small can mean even if it is a temporary job, like they have secondments for 1 year or 6 months or fixed
Yeah,
term
because
or
your
fixed
patient
term.
safety role was a secondment you mentioned
Yes,
earlier. Yeah.
yes. So we need to know, if this thing, even if it is just to do it for this small time, and by the time you are ending that one, you'll be able to look for permanent one. I got one, it was a fixed term. People can be really, it was really scary because if you finish your fixed term without getting another job, ah, unlike secondment that you can go back to your previous role, this one, or yo, if you don't get another job, fixed term is like you are doing a contract for 1 year, and once that one ends, you are not going back to your current job again. So we really need to, know how to navigate these things. But you would always, that's what one of my colleagues said to me. You would always, if it is band five that they reserve for you, you would always get band five jobs. So go for it, go for it, go for it. So you can always start small. Another thing that I want to say, which is which is that you really, really cannot do without education. This academic stress that we are avoiding, we would eventually need to go for it. But see all the 10 things that you can do that are already listed that you can do that doesn't require you actually going to school. Academic stress is not there. But if you are looking for something that is now um, more than just being a band 6, you want to go for band 7, you want to go for band 8. I'm sure my guy here, she's probably doing a PhD now. Yeah, you cannot hide,
She's
you
quite
cannot hide, you cannot be hiring chief nursing officer and say you just want to be a RN. Could it work? Oh,
work.
could it work? You will still need the academic stress. If you like, be a link nurse forever. So at the end of the day, you still have to, take the leap and do some major academic work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's so rich. Like that is more than enough, honestly. Now to the next point. Please, if you have any questions for Adenike, put it in the question box and we would address that. But before we go, I think the next question I said I was going to ask you is how to market and utilize your transferable skills in landing your dream job. You already touched base on that when you said that don't treat the contributions you make at your place of work as intangible. You already touched base on that, but I don't know if you still want to add any other thing about using your transferable skills, because you moving from being a band 5 nurse to being a patient safety specialist to being a clinical nurse educator, you've done quite a number of things within such a time, and it's all different entity in its own place. So yeah, you mentioned that you were able to use your OSCE facilitator experience to land the clinical nurse educator role. So do you want to add anything extra to that point? I don't know. Just
I think it all comes down to being taking your time when you are marketing yourself. A lot of us do things in fire brigade, using fire brigade approach. You want the application is closing today, and today is when you think I should submit it. I can write my application for a whole week, like a whole week. I'm writing my supporting statement. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it and removing things and coordinating things, and because it is how you bring those experiences or skills that you got from different places. It is how you then put them within your application that would really get them to be interested in what you have written. So I'll give an example. So I've done OSCE. This one that I'm doing now, it's not OSCE, but obviously if you have taught before, if you have been a teacher before, the subject doesn't really matter as much. Of course, everything is still nursing. So it's just to be able to say the things that I have done as a teacher and how my students have benefited from it, and not about the content of what I have taught. So I was able to, say this is what I have done. These are the impacts, and the data that can show that this is what you've done and it has worked. And again, it doesn't have to be that all the experiences that you are acquiring should be in the UK. Those things that you learn in Nigeria too, bring it in and write it in your thing. They are not going to go and call anybody in Nigeria to ask them whether you've obtained this skill or not. Even the UK one, they will still not call your manager to say, Ngba, does this person know how to do this or do that? They probably never going to do that unless maybe when you now go for things that are really higher than what we are talking about, band 6, band 7. At band 7, you know everything. But from band 8 and Ogami, they know that they it's not it's not this kind of interview that they'll be doing for you, and you would have to defend the things that you put on your CV. But it's really how you structure those things and make it relevant to what you are vying for at this time that matters. So take your time. Let other people. I don't know why people keep things secret. You know, you're applying for a job and you don't want your friend to know that you're applying for a job. You're doing yourself now because at the end of the day, the person probably have something that can help you. Me, I don't mind. I'll send my work to people. Eba me wo, say this thing should make sense. You know, go all out and let people proofread your work. And I heard something from my deputy director of nursing service when she was having a small meeting with a few of us that, you know, she said she wanted us to step up from, you know, band 6 then. And she was saying to me, if you are going to be a ward manager, I want to look at your supporting statement and see that there is no iota of mistake, like not even spelling. That if you make a spelling error, it shows to me that you are not a meticulous person.
Hmm.
You know, regardless of what you think you have written in that place, I'm on Kogan. It doesn't matter. Once you make mistakes in spellings, you are putting American English in your Kenyan. She said that she's not going to go for it because it shows that you don't pay attention to what you're doing, and that goes a long way. So again, take your time, let other people go through your work, and next things, you know, well, let it relate it very well. Well, if you have friends that are jealous of you, I think you are not in the right place to be. I mean, when I'm talking about friends, my friends are God ordained ones that I can't relate to people that will discourage me. We encourage the way we fire each other on. It's not, it can't be discouraging. So you need to change your friend in 2024.
Okay.
Um, that's it.
Now, the last bit. Let's talk about workplace politics.
Okay.
Because you're talking about your bros, your Oga. I'm sure these people are not Nigerians.
They are not. None of them.
So tell us how you navigated all of that. Like, are you able to manage the workplace politics and you are able to deal with, over the white privilege in court? If there's a way, if I can put it that way, pardon my use of
Okay.
words. But how are you able to manage all of that? The workplace politics, you being the outstanding one among everybody else, and you're still able to, achieve all those feats. Tell us.
So again, before I start, I would say my case is different. I don't believe, and I know because I have a friend that has told me, oh, just because things are going smoothly for you, don't don't ridicule or trivialize the struggle of other people. This is not to trivialize the journey of people, but I'm a Christian. I strongly believe that the favor of God is upon my life and my case is different. So when other people are saying that there is a casting down, I would say there is a lifting up. So it's a mindset first for me. I'm going into a place and I'm saying that my case is different, and people are going to accept me. I'm going to accept people. We are going to have a joyful moment when I'm at work. And I'm not saying I've not had my fair share, but I really don't dwell on one person that misbehaved, that wanted to bully me. And I don't, because if I start to dwell on that one person, I would then miss out on all these people that have so many things to offer to me. So it's a mindset first. So I'm already prepared that I'm okay to be the only black girl in the room. I'm okay to be the least person in the room. I'm okay to be, whatever it is, they will say things and they would move on and I will move on too. So that mindset for me is number one. Secondly, I am prepared to be myself. I'm Adenike, I'm human, right? So people go to work and they want to fake the way that they are at work. They are two different people. When you see them at work, they are different person. When you see them at home, they are different person. You see in church, they are different person. So they have multiple personality. So they switch in between personality and people don't really know them at work. Do you know that if an Igbo person doesn't know you, if they don't really, if they feel like you are too distant, they would harass you, they will bully you, they will do everything that they feel like doing to you. And this is how I know. When they gave me a mentor when I was on the ward in this my current trust. I was on the ward. They gave me a mentor, band five to each other. Of course, she has been on the ward for 3 years as at that time, and she was my mentor. And she used to just bully me for whatever reason. And I raised a dispute. She left the workplace, and then another ACA started to bully me. Kilo day, what is going on? When they called us, I did an incident report and they called us to do a mitigation. Do you know what this person said? The person that was doing the mitigation was a ward sister and told me, we don't know you. We don't know you. You don't talk to us. You don't engage with us. You don't laugh with us. You don't. And this is me just being, a saint at work. I will do my work, no mistake, and go back home. Nothing, no interaction whatsoever. Everybody just enjoy themselves and go home. But these people would be sitting down, they'll be having tea, and they will be having discussion, gisting, chatting. Oh, what did you do during the weekend? Or they'll tell themselves what they did during the weekend. And me, I'll be like, I'm not interested about all of these things. But these were the things that these people were looking forward to hearing me talk to them. So during that discussion, they said, "We don't know you. Are you married? Are you single? Are you this? Are you?" They don't because I don't tell anybody anything, you know. So I saw that they were interested in me talking to them. Let us have that relationship where they can say, oh, Ade is she's from Nigeria, she's from Lagos, and she's married. I think she's married. They want to be able to say that they know you things. And since that day, things changed. It shifted. And when I get to work and they're asking me, what do you do during the weekend? I start telling them, even if it is only church I'm going, if I don't go to pub and things, I'll tell them, oh, well, I went to church and this was it and this was that and all of those things. I became more relational. And, when you're asking for favor, you are not, it's their job, or they're going to be paid for it, but they still want you to say, can you please help me? Can you kindly do this for me? Can you kindly do that? It doesn't matter whether they are being paid. They still want you to be civil. They want you to be respectful. They want you to be courteous, right? And they want you to relate with them. They want to know you. They want you to know them as well. If you mistakenly ask an Igbo person, how are you? They are going to tell you every single thing that is going on in their life. So, that's the kind of energy they are bringing. They want the same energy. But what it is that I don't tell them what is extremely personal. I tell them what I know that I put on Instagram, that everybody knows that is there. Do you get? So I'm saying be relatable. That's number one. Number two, rejoice with them when they are rejoicing. When they are sad, don't form that you understand 100%, because I saw a post where somebody was saying, oh, well, you still have to form that you understand. You don't have to form that you understand. I don't own a cat. I don't own a dog. So when they are talking about their pets and they're saying, oh, I was at the vet 2 days ago, we spent the night, I really cannot understand. But I'm sorry that you feel this way. I don't own a cat. I don't own a dog. But I'm really sorry you feel this way. I don't know what can make it better for you. Would you like me to do anything for you? They can offer you tea 100 times within a shift if they feel like they want to make you feel better. So if we're going to make them feel better too, have them now. Will you have a cup of tea? Would you have a coffee? Buy them things. People volunteer to buy tea for each other. Those things, those little things. They say, I buy this one next week. You buy that one. They expect you. It's just that Nigerians, we don't know that they want us to reciprocate. We just take it and we move on.
And if they give you and you say no, it's another problem.
So you have to play along. Exactly. Isolation makes you an easy prey. That is it, 100%. So when you know what they want from you, just give it to them, as long as it doesn't compromise what you believe in, it doesn't compromise patient safety, it doesn't compromise your faith. So everything you are still within your ethics of being professional. Please, by the way, by all means, rather go out of your way and do it. I'm not a I don't like gisting things that doesn't really concern me. I don't gist other people gist because I don't want to be in trouble with apart from play is a sin. You say one thing, they say you said 100 things. So that one. And again, compliment people. Compliment people. Nigerians, if they come in and they just get their lashes because they do all of these lashes things. So especially those HCAs, they do all the lashes and they put all the makeup when they are coming to work. Oh, you look so good. Nigerians, this is how our face will just be on top. How many managers have called me and asked me questions? How are you different from all these people that are just coming to my work? How are you different? And they said they don't laugh, they don't talk, they don't smile with people, they don't laugh with people, they don't compliment people, they don't say thank you, they don't say well done, they don't say hiya. Learn their language.
You're
Learn
right.
their language. Every part of the UK, they have their own peculiar slang. In my own word, they will say, "Why I? How a man? Let's do this." That how a man is, let's do this. And so me too. When we are already getting to that, I'm like, "How a man? Let's do this." I'm using their language. When my boss, even when I moved on from the ward and moved to where I am now, do you know, my boss came to my church and said, what exactly do you do in this, your church? Because you always talk about your church. Because when they ask me a question, I'm talking about my church. Come and do these things in on Sunday. I say, I'm sorry, I'm not able to show up on Sunday because of this. And the next thing, my boss, by the way, an Oyibo, probably a pagan, came to my church, met my pastor, met my choir. Do you know that last year, they got my choir, the choir of my church, to come and sing carol song in their own carol, my church carol, because he fell in love with my choir. This year again, they reached out to me, say, let your choir come, minister in our carol. So this is because they will see that you love them when you speak their language. That's what it means to them. You love me, I love you. That's it. We are one family. Those ones, they never bullied me. That's the two people that bullied me. One left for me. They didn't say she was going on sabbatical for 6 months. 6 months finished. She said she's not coming again. She left the ward. And that is, I believe, is the hand of God. It is not anything I have done. The second one opened my eyes to see that they just want you to relate with them. And I started to do that. Okay? And the last one, that was the last one. But when I moved on, I carried all the things that I've experienced and knowledge that they've opened my eyes to see to my new place, so that we don't even have to go through those norming, forming stages. I just switched into being relatable, communicating, gisting. How a man, hiya, let's do this, instead of just saying, you're right all the time. No, hiya, with some smile on your face, if they buy you something, you buy them something. I don't drink alcohol, they gave me alcohol, I still collected this and said, thank you very much. Because they're always buying gifts in Christmas. When it was this Christmas, I gave the alcohol that they gave me to someone else. The other one was happy. Everybody's happy. All of us are happy together. So, be professional, so that whatever it is that they are doing, at least, even if they don't accept you after having done all to stand, you know that they cannot find fault in you. Nobody, if I make a mistake, before you report me, I don't report myself. So that if na me go first break the news. Not be say person go come the lie on top my head. So I would go ahead and report my mistake by myself if I've made a mistake. And I would, before they start telling me what have you learned, I would write what I have learned from that mistake and how the things I'm going to put in place so that it will not happen again. So I do that a lot. Number five, okay, I've already talked about building connections. Play along, we've already talked about that. I've talked about communicating effectively. Don't assume anything. Don't assume a single thing, because what something that means nothing as an African means a lot to them, and things that does not really mean anything for them, a lot for us. So when you are unsure, when they say, go on, go on, what do you mean go on? What does go on mean? Clarify, so that all of us will be on the same page. That is um that is number seven. I don't know how many things anyone has got, but don't ever join the bullies, all in the name of wanting to belong to, and run workplace politics. Don't ever join the bullies. If you join the bully, you know what will happen. You will even be more. You will make more enemy. Don't join the bullies just because you are trying to avoid being bullied. Because at the end of the day, they will still bully you. You will farag butter. I don't know how to say it in English. You will still get hit by bullets again. So don't join the bullies just to belong to workplace, to farm yourself with the ruling party, because there are always factions in different in different departments. So don't join them. Be neutral. It's better to be neutral. Let everybody know that this one doesn't really. Everybody is my friend, because they will say to you that you should not make friends at work. But how can you work 37.5 a week and you will not make friends at work? My own is, as you are making friends, make sure that whatever it is that is transpiring is professional to the core, not gossip, not covering errors that you're supposed to report, because all in the name of friendship. Let people know that this is just who you are. Be a person. You are human. Be that human when you are at work as well. Let that side of you come out, and then everything will go well. And again, I serve a living God. I cannot overestimate that. Again, help people that I mean is, if you are doing something and you are almost done with your work, I don't know about any other place, but we usually have teams within our own ward. Then you are, maybe blue team or red team. Blue team, we have probably two nurses and two HCA, another team. So you are already doing your own handover, and they are still struggling with patient care down there. You just go, does anybody need a hand? They will say, oh, please, can you help me to do this one? And you go there and just give like maybe 10 minutes hand to change a patient that has just, soiled themselves. And they say, oh, she's always helping people. It doesn't cost anything. You're going to just be so likable, lovable. And again, they need a solution, even in the corporate one that is not bedside. I say, can I do something about this? It's not within my scope, but can I do something about it? You know, they will say she's always eager. I love her energy. I love her, all sort of things like that. So get involved in whatever is happening in your workplace. It would really help. I hope that with these few points of mine, I've not bored you. I've
this is
not bored
this
you
is more than
out.
few. This is more than few. This is rich. It's just so painful that I could not record the first two parts that cut off. Like, it's so painful. Thank you so much, Adenike. Thank you. You're a powerhouse. Thank you so much. I'm
Ah,
sure that everybody on this
I'm
live,
bored.
they have gotten one or two things to take home with them. Because I have gotten more than one, more than two to take home with me. Thank you so much. We are very, very grateful. Thank you for showing up. I don't, I don't know if anybody has questions. If you have questions, please drop your questions now before we close the live session, because all the points that I've noted for the live session, we've like, I think we've covered everything. We've covered all the points. So if you have any questions from your own end, please let us know. Drop them now. And if you don't have any questions, we will call it a night. Thank you, everybody. Thanking you, Adenike. Thank you so much.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you for
Aramide, I see
coming.
you. Thank you for joining. Danola, thank you for joining. Oluwatumileno, thank you for joining. Thank you so much for joining, everybody. Thank you, Bimpe. Thank you, Sebabenda. Thank you, IJ. Thank you so, so much. Yeah. Okay. I believe there's no question at this point, so that we don't keep you waiting. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for tuning
Thank
in.
you, thank
We'll
you,
see
thank
you
you.
again another time. Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much, Adenike.
Bye.
We'll catch up behind the door.
Yeah.
Thank you. She has an Instagram page. She has an Instagram page, The Saint Nurse. You can connect with her there. You can connect with her on LinkedIn. Her name is Adenike Olakunle on LinkedIn. You can connect with her, I believe so. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I'll see you in our next live session. That one will be mind blowing, I promise. All right, bye. Good night, everyone. Bye.